Very grim news which came in earlier today. Veteran left leader and CPM General Secretary Sitaram Yechury passed away this afternoon. He was 72 years of age and was undergoing treatment for respiratory ailment at All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. Here's a look at the life and times of Mr. Yechury.
A pragmatic communist, an intellectual giant, a builder of coalitions with friends across political lines. The CPM's most well-known face for several decades, Sitaram Yechury, was a quintessential politician who rose from the post of University Union President to the CPM's General Secretary. His speeches in Parliament, peppered with wit, sarcasm and historical references, were a treat to watch.
I'm born in a Hindu traditional family, had my Ved part done and my thread ceremony done at the age of 11. Having studied all the Vedas, then you say with a name like Sitaram, with all the Vedas, why have you landed up as a communist? I've landed up as a communist because I've studied all of them.
Yechury joined the Students' Federation of India in 1974 and a year later he became a member of the Communist Party of India, Marxist. He was elected the president of the famed JNU Students' Union thrice in the late 70s. Along with Prakash Karat, Yechury is credited to have played a key role in establishing a strong leftist presence at the JNU that holds till date. In 1975, while still a student at JNU, he was arrested during the emergency. A veteran of many political battles, Yechury's most famous probable is against Indira Gandhi. After the emergency, the JNU Students' Union, led by Sitaram Yechury, forced Indira Gandhi to resign as a chancellor of the university. A master of many languages, Yechury would talk to his party comrades in different languages, in Bengali to Jyoti Basu, in Telugu to M. Basavapunaya, in Tamil to AIIMS Nambudripad, and in Hindi to Harkishan Singh Surjeet. Yechury is known for continuing the coalition-building legacy of former General Secretary and his mentor Harkishan Singh Surjeet. He collaborated with P. Chidambaram to draft the Common Minimum Programme for the United Front government in 1996 and played a key role in the coalition-building efforts during the formation of the United Progressive Alliance government in 2004. The left saw its best and worst times under Yechury. From 60 seats that propelled the UPA to power in 2004 to a near decimation now. Political ups and downs aside, Comrade Yechury remained committed to secularism and democracy and steadfastly opposed communalism and Hindutva politics till his last breath. With Mohammad Asim, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Let me bring in Pawan Verma, someone who studied with Comrade Yechury in St. Stephen's College in the national capital and has had several fond memories with him. Mr. Verma, of course, this is a very tough time for his friends and family. As someone who studied with him in St. Stephen's College and also, traveled several miles with him in his political journey, what's your best memory of Comrade Yechury?
We were in contemporaries in college, although pursuing different subjects. We were also together in Parliament later. I think Sitaram was the most amiable, reasonable, balanced, accessible communist leader I have ever met. He was actually a consensus maker. He never adopted a confrontationist style except on matters of non-negotiable ideology. That was his lovable trait. And he had a simplicity about it right from his college days, where he dressed simply, lived simply, smoked Charminar incessantly, and was the kind of dedicated, grassrooted, educated communist, CPI committed member, who was a great asset to public life. I mean, I used to see him in parliament when I was there, and we were friends and we used to chat. But Sitaram Yechury always came out as a consensus builder or as one who was seeking to find a solution rather than an impasse. And this became apparent on many occasions. There was one occasion, Maria, where I approached him at the time when Dr. Karan Singh was a very likely possibility for the president of India, and a very good choice also. But Prakash Karat, his colleague in the CPIM, had put his foot down on the fact that he came from a royal lineage, which Dr. Karan Singh had renounced long ago when he joined democratic politics under the tutelage of Jawaharlal Nehru. So I called Sitaram. And Sitaram said, I absolutely agree with you. This should not be held against him. But he said that it's difficult to reason with perhaps the party position or Mr. Prakash Karat. So he was always open to finding the right solution. I can't tell you what a great loss it is. Not only for me personally, but for the country's public life.
Yes, Mr. Verma, certainly just about every politician that I've spoken to has great memories and has some great words for Comrade Yechury. Of course, you know, it's truly an end of an era. But what next for left politics? That's also the big question. But Mr. Verma, you know, what according to you was the biggest high of Sitaram Yechury's career?
You see, he was a student. After his graduation from St. Stephen's, he went to jail. He emerged as a genuinely popular leader in student politics. And he was a lifelong member of the CPIM. In my view, the highlight of his political career, if you ask me, was his term as the General Secretary of the CPIM. For once, then, the party had a face that was not charging at windmills, which has definitely had its principles, was open to conversation, dialogue, talks. And I think that 10 years or whatever of his period of life was his great charm. And by the way, he was genuinely uh, revered or liked very much by the party cadre. He carried them. I mean, when he became a Rajya Sabha MP, he was allotted a house on Firoz Shah Road. He didn't live there. He lived in with his wife and family in their small house in Vasant Kunj and used his official residence for the help of party workers and for his office. I mean, he was a man completely oblivious to ostentation. And that was his main appeal. I mean, I could go to Sitaram and talk to him about anything, from a good joke to poetry to politics, uh, to colleagues to remembrances, and he always had a witty and sharp response.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Verma. Let me bring in someone who has also worked with Mr. Yechury within the party, within CPIM, the party that he served for so many decades. M.A. Baby is joining us now. Mr. Baby, of course, you and Mr. Yechury have been friends, also fellow members of the Politburo of the CPIM. What, according to you, defined Sitaram Yechury? And what are your memories from his Rajya Sabha days?
To clearly communicate, whether it is by writing or by speaking, it was well known. Perhaps you would know that in one of the important English newspapers, the Hindustan Times, he used to handle a weekly column, left hand right, which I think he continuously handled for almost 4 or 5 years, if not more. So he was a very effective leader from among the new generation of Communist Party leaders. Prakash Karyat, who was General Secretary before him, he also played an important role in training Sitaram Yechury. So though we were contemporaries in the student movement, due to his deep knowledge about many issues, not only related to the ideological issues related to the communist movement, he was a versatile genius. He used to enjoy literature, film, music, sports. He himself was a tennis player. Perhaps it would be news to you that, in the Rafi Marg, there is UNI Center, and they have an open badminton court. They used to have, I don't know, now it is there. So in the 80s and 90s, we used to play badminton in early hours, whether it is very cold winter or summer.
Okay, what next for the left ideology and the left movement in India? Of course, the passing away of, Mr. Yechury has left a huge vacuum in the space of left politics and, of course, of the entire Indian politics, if we were to say that.
Yeah. You see, Comrade Sitaram left us when the Indian political scene is confronted with many challenges. The most important challenge is that certain political forces bend upon corroding the constitutional values such as secularism, democracy, social justice, social progress, protection of the downtrodden and marginalized sections of society. Comrade Sitaram was immensely contributing towards harnessing the democratic and progressive forces in a broad struggle against these forces of darkness. So his absence would be an irreparable loss, a huge vacuum, but we have to take the movement forward. There are comrades like Prakash Karyat, Bunda Karyat, and many comrades from the new generation. We have to put together our energy and remembering the great tradition developed by Comrade Sitaram, we have to carry on the struggle for the rights of the democratic and progressive forces and also the livelihood issues of the toiling masses. We are planning the 24th Congress of CPIM. In fact, it is from the midst of the preparation that Sitaram left us. So our primary focus would be preparing the party for holding the 24th Party Congress successfully. 24th Party Congress will discuss how the challenges before the development of the independent strength of the party, how left and democratic forces can be further strengthened, how the political struggle can be dovetailed with the livelihood struggles of the common masses.
All right, Mr. Baby, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Of course, one of the most affable politicians of India and also known as a consensus builder is no more. There's an obituary that is there up on ndtv.com. Do read that. And remember the life and times of Sitaram Yechury. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.